Bowtie Barbecue has always been a work of passion. It takes time, skill, and a blend of perfect temperature, wood, smoke, and meats. We just took it up a notch. Taste the passion. Bowtie Barbecue, 6724 Waters Avenue, Savannah.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Danny Britt Show. We are live once again at Bowtie Barbecue on Waters. Come on out and join us every Thursday lunchtime, 12 o'clock. We are right here talking with the head coach of BC, Danny Britt. We'll look back to last week, look ahead certainly to this week. And Coach, I can't go any further. I'll say it's the biggest game in the state. And just your thoughts on you're the defending state champions. They're the defending state champions in their classification. How rare is that to play in the regular season? And that's as big as it gets.
Yeah, I absolutely love it, man. This is going to be great. This is, when we started talking next level a number of years back, this is what we're talking about, playing state champion Ware County, great program. And, it's become a good rivalry for us. And so we're really excited and ready to go. We will see. We will know what we have or don't have after tomorrow night. I can assure you that. And
as you told me Friday night, if you can't get excited this week to play football for BC, you maybe need to go do something else.
Definitely. There shouldn't be a big pregame speech needed or anything like that. It just, hey, this is what it's all about.
We'll get to Ware County coming up here in just a minute. Again, we're at Bowtie Barbecue. We're here every Thursday with Coach Britt. Let's go back to last week against Westminster. I know confident going into that football game. You guys got up 17-0, and one of those games early in the season that I know you like to say, hey, well, maybe we got a little too confident in ourselves, and they came back and made it a ball game on you.
Yeah, definitely. We were a little frustrated after the game and talking to them about certain positions and groups and play. And the old adage held true. It's never as good as it seems or as bad as it seems. Once you watch the film, we did some things well. I think we went up to Westminster. We went up immediately 17-0, and they started. All five people that were there kind of got quiet, and then they started playing some sort of banjo music, I mean, not making excuses, but it just went. The energy just left the building,
Right.
So that's something we've got to learn. That's something we've got to be able to, the dogs, the great teams, they just keep fighting. They keep doing it over and over and over again, no matter what the scenario. So we've got to learn from that. And I also want to give Westminster credit. Those kids played their hearts out. They really did. Going back and look at the film, there were 6 or 7 situations where offensively Bubba Frazier or LaDon or somebody was about to be gone, and some kid came from nowhere and barely got their foot, and they, and tripped them up, and they fell. So they played absolutely their hearts out. So lots of credit goes to Westminster too.
And again, I'm not trying to turn it one way or another, but as we were riding back on the bus from the game last Friday, I was like, well, you can really, and I'd be interested to hear your thoughts on how you kind of approached it. Look at it from two different ways. Yeah, it was a lot closer than a lot of people thought, but you look at those 14 points. You fumbled inside your own 20 on a special teams mistake, gave them a short field. That was one score. And then on 3rd and 15, which defensively I'm sure you feel very good about most times.
Right.
Kind of get sucked in on a sweep and a halfback pass, and that was their other score. Outside of that, you guys really had a little trouble with the single wing, but for the most part had them bottled up. So, yeah, the score was close, but kind of some of it to your own undoing a little bit. Kind of which coin do you kind of fall more on it of, yes, it was a close ball game, but we kind of made some mistakes that made it look a little closer. We didn't play with the energy we wanted to, but we kind of also made it look a little closer than maybe the way we played would reflect.
Yeah, I think, you can take it and learn from it and understand, there's things we've got to get better at and improve at. But you're right. The biggest thing is you can't relax and if you're going to be great, you got to be great all the time. So that's the biggest thing to take from it. As far as the score and then how they scored, we got the opportunity. We drove 90-something yards for the score to kind of lock it down and put it away, and then Bryce got the pick to make the play to keep them out of the end zone to preserve the win. So, you did the things you had to do to win. So that's positive. That's a positive thing to bring from it. And I'm not always the most positive person, so I know that. I'm willing to accept that. The kids know that, but that is very true. The biggest thing is you just can't lose the energy. Again, if you're going to be great, you got to be great all the time.
And I know building your program over the course of the years that you have, it's easy to say, yeah, but good teams, good programs, and what you've instilled in your kids. Yeah, hey, talk about that. It was, I think, 80-something yards. It was a 6-point ball game with 8 minutes or so to go in the game.
Right.
And if you guys go 3 and out, it gets awful interesting real quick. And you guys go the 80-plus yards, eat up half of what's left of the game clock, and make it a 2-score game. And to me, that was kind of like, yes, it was sloppy at times for a good portion of the game, but a good team at the right moment stepped up, and you guys put together a drive when you had to have one to put the game away.
Yeah, and I compared it, when talking to the guys after the game, compared it to like Georgia last year when they played Missouri or they played Kentucky. There's going to be those games, but do you continue to play hard, play together, and find a way to win? And we did, and we found a way to pull away and preserve the win and go from there. So there's a lot to be said for that, and every single game isn't going to just be beautiful. You got to know that. But, you take from what you need to, you learn from it. And then, obviously, we're going to have a beautiful game to have opportunity this week.
200 yards rushing, though, on the ground by your offense. I know people talk about all the playmakers you have and the quarterback and all that, but 200 yards rushing, that's, if you just look at it on its face, that's old school football. That's, we're going to put it on the ground and grind this game out. Yeah,
definitely. We want to do that. We would like to be 50-50 in the run-pass scenario. And we want to have over 200 yards rushing, and Luke's a part of that. I think he rushed for 45 yards and a touchdown. That's who he is. We want him to be a part of that. And then, he was 11 of 22 for passing with 4 big-time drops. I mean, he had 150 yards at the end of the night. He would have had well over 200 if we hadn't just dropped the ball. So, those are things, again, we got to work on. It's a focus thing that we're continuously pushing. And you could tell after that first quarter, it died. The focus left until we got to 8 minutes to go in the game. They pulled within 1, and we had to force it.
How hard is that to get back? I mentioned it just when you see, hey, guys, we're losing focus, uncharacteristic drops where guys weren't covered. How hard is that to get back on your football team in the middle of a game?
Very hard. It is so hard. I don't know how to necessarily do it. That's why we constantly preach, and how we practice and the things we do. We try to just preach always being at that red line, because like you said, once it's gone, it's hard to, because you can't manufacture it. It's not, you can't just yell and scream. And I mean, they're used to hearing me yell and cuss and all that. So that's not going to bring the energy back. The only way to get it, what I've seen is you get a core group of guys that really start lifting that up and making big time plays, and sometimes that'll bring it back.
And it seems that guy Friday, and he was our player of the game, was Bryce Baker. The offense was struggling to get something going, and I don't remember off the top of my head if it was second or third down, but he caught a big pass over the middle for 9 yards, and a pass that y'all had been kind of dropping for the last quarter and a half. He made a big catch over the middle. And it seemed like in the third quarter that kind of got you guys back on track offensively.
Yeah, he definitely did. He caught that pass and then made a move and ran through some guys. And so he did. And then when he started running the ball there in that same drive and was running through some guys, he kind of sparked that energy to get us back. And he was the main guy. And then, and of course, made the play at the end, too, with the defensive.
I know we talk about offense. Defensively, as you said, he came back and had the interception at the goal line to seal the game for you. But defensively, outside of this couple drives with a single wing, and you had one busted play there on defense, it seemed like you had them pretty well schemed when they were running their base offense. They really didn't do much against you guys. It seemed like your defense, Coach Housen, had those guys really locked in and ready to go.
Yeah, it did. Felt good about scheming against them and what we had. Even we lost that day of practice last Wednesday, and that really did affect us somewhat. But we were schemed up good, and honestly, we knew that they would jump into that single wing look and kind of wildcat look, and we didn't feel like they would be able to move the ball on us in that, and they did better than I thought. And they were able to catch the edge a couple of times and just a few different things. So we made some adjustments there and eventually stopped that. But I thought Houston did a great job. Defensively, we were playing hard and doing things. It's just we just got to continue to play with that same energy, that great level of energy all the time.
And single wing, you don't ever see it. It was kind of funny they did that because I talked to you last week about, hey, they run the spread, and it seems like everybody runs the spread, and then they hop right into that thing.
Right.
And it's, for folks that aren't old enough to see that, there's like you just call out a number and two backs. One guy's going to get it, maybe fakes to the other guy, and you follow everybody else around the edge. And were you guys able to prepare for that in practice? I mean, just nobody really runs that kind of hike it to me, and we're going to follow 4 or 5 guys around the end and go hat on you.
Yeah, you're right. And we lined up against it, and again, we were down a day, so we didn't have a lot of time to really spend on it. And we've had guys do that in the past few years since we've gotten pretty good that they'll do that. They'll run the clock. They'll take the entire 25 or 40 seconds between plays and it's a way of, of kind of running the clock and trying to stay in the game. And they did a good job with it. And again, to their credit, they played really, really hard.
As a defensive coordinator, I mean, on your end, for those of us in the stands, it looks pretty simple. Hey, they're hiking it to one guy, and he's running this way. How difficult is it to stop when it's just, hey, I think one of their H-backs was wearing 90-something.
Right.
So how difficult is that to stop when they're basically putting extra offensive linemen in there and it's just straight power coming at you? I mean, it's just basically want-to football at that point?
It is want-to football. I think, too, what you got to understand, if you're – okay, just to be honest with you, I think it's a defeatist mindset when you go to do that offensively. You're saying we can't score much. We're going to try to take as much time, pound out first downs, and basically just run the clock out. Now, I get it, but that's what people do. And so it's hard to stop them, 10 yards, especially if they're thinking, and we'll go for it on 4th down too. So it's hard to keep them, without getting that 10 yards. So, and we were able to come up and stop it. That first time they got some angles outside that was on us. We did not prepare well enough for it. And then they were, cutting it back at, underneath some a few times. Then after that, once we tried to adjust. So once we physically caught it, got that, and we started handling it fine.
Coach Danny Britt joining us here at Bowtie Barbecue. Special teams, always a big part of the football game. You guys had a couple of drops. One that you explained to us on the postgame show actually fumbled. The ball was in the end zone, right. So it was technically dead whether he had caught it or not at that point. And then another one that got fumbled. Is that just one of those things that once that starts in that game, that's just something that happens because you're thinking about it the next time? Or is that one of those things where you say, look, we just got to put somebody back there that's going to be sure-handed and can make sure we collect the football? Have you made any kind of adjustments there this week?
Yeah, it's really hard, and I hate it for Houston, who's, incredible kid, an incredibly reliable young man, has been for 4 years for us. But, yeah, once it gets in your head, it's really hard. It's like if anybody's ever played baseball and once – you can't hit the curve. It's almost impossible to hit the curve. I have that experience in golf all the time. I tried it and it just can't do it, So, yeah, we got to look at some other guys. Houston's still been working back there, but we're going to look at some other guys who, to go back there. We've got to be able to catch those things. Now, again, I want to go back. That punter was a weapon. Yeah. He was a true weapon. He was killing it. And making it very difficult on us.
And again, I wasn't trying to single out Houston. I know
No.
I've seen some great players for you guys get the drop seats in the past that have been amazing players for you. And it's just one of those things that, sometimes it's kind of like a running back. You just got to go with the hot hand, and the hot hand might just be who's securing the football at that moment.
Without a doubt, I've done that before. Everybody is going to fumble occasionally, and the kids will tell you, but you fumble twice, and somebody else is getting the ball. It's just we're going to have to, and not forever. That doesn't mean that it can never go back. I'm just saying at that moment you have to make a decision and say, okay, now we got to see who else is doing it.
We are live here at Bowtie Barbecue. Great crowd on hand. Come on out and join us. We're coming right back. We're going to talk Ware County. Biggest game in the state by far this week. It's going to be right here in Savannah. We're coming right back here to Bowtie Barbecue.
Bowtie Barbecue has always been a work of passion. It takes time, skill, and a blend of perfect temperature, wood, smoke, and meats. We just took it up a notch. Taste the passion. Bowtie Barbecue, 6724 Waters Avenue, Savannah.
Here's we get ready to talk about Ware County. Coach Britt would like to take time to tell you about something else very important.
So it's that time of the show where I get to tell you about Abel's Iron On More and Associates. They are a fee-only registered investment advisor firm. Their firm is built on trust, and they are fiduciaries committed to working in the best interest of their clients. Contact Jeff and David at 912-777-4128 or visit their website, www.aiminc.com, to see why they are different.
Coach, again, it's Ware County this week. It doesn't get any bigger than this. This was a game you guys, this was a kind of a storybook game last year where it rained all day long, stopped 5 minutes before the game started. You played kind of in a sloppy, wet field. But just a classic football game. That was the last game you lost all season and went on to win the state championship, where I think it's in the middle of 18-19 game winning streak because they didn't lose at all last year. So just on the surface, you guys versus Ware, no players, no scheme, no nothing. How excited do you get just to have that as kind of on the masthead this week? It's like, hey, this is nobody else in the state's playing a game like this week.
Yeah, no, I love it. This is exciting. This is why we do it. This is why kids come to Benedictine. I tell them, this is why. So very excited about having that type of game. It should be an incredible environment. Everybody come out. It should be packed at Memorial Stadium and very excited. I've had people from all over say they're coming that have nothing to do with either school. They just want to see what's going on.
And again, a lot of athletes, a lot of college talent out there on the football field. And you and Coach Strickland, correct me if I'm wrong, but you guys have gone against each other going back when he was at Fitzgerald, and you guys were still playing over at Savannah State, and had some battles. Personally, what is it? Obviously, when the whistle blows, you guys are going, but personally, you guys have played a lot. What's this game like for the two of you guys?
Yeah, great respect for Coach Strickland. Like I said, we played against each other when he was at Fitzgerald, and then now he's at Ware, and we've actually become really good friends. We go to the same clinics and hang out and talk ball, and we become buddies and have great respect for him and how he runs that program, and I hope he feels the same about us.
And again, he brings a very good football team, new quarterback for them this year, but they've still got Dejon Dennis, big running back, 210 pounds. And then the guy that kind of spells him as well, R.J. Boyd, 215 pounds. They're bigger running backs that you're going to see here. And they like to spread you out and do some of those things that I guess you like to do from time to time. Is it not maybe a full mirror image, but pretty close to some of the schemes they try to do?
Philosophy-wise, it's similar. They're making you defend the entire field. They're just trying to get their athletes in space, and they do a really good job on the offensive line as well. Those running backs, like you just said, are beautiful. I don't know that I've ever had kids that look that good play running back for us, and we've had some really good dudes, but just beautiful-looking players that can really run. They're physical, can catch, all the things. So great-looking offense. This just amazes me every year with Ware. They look the same. Every year they look the same. They're going to, offensively, they're not the biggest guys on the offensive line, but very athletic, good football players. And then they always have a lot of skill guys. And then defensively, they can just fly to the ball.
I was going to say, it seems like if you were going to start a team and you couldn't take your own team, that would be a team that you'd be like, those are my kind of guys. And
no doubt.
They said those offensive guys, they always move very well in space. And it seems like watching the game last year, they try to do that. They want their running backs, their guys to get it in space, but they're also able to move linemen out there to give them a little extra blocking to create some more holes for them.
Yeah, definitely. They run a zone scheme, but aren't quite as big as some of the zone guys we've seen, but they move again very well and athletic offensive linemen, which is great. And they're trying to get their guys in space, and they get those linemen out there that can move and make blocks for them. They can run a lot of quick screens, slip screens, and get those linemen out and can make blocks in space.
When you play a team like that from your side defensively, is it just like, hey, guys, they're going to get some yards? They're going to. Is it all of it? And I thought y'all did a good job last year. They moved between the 20s, and then you guys kind of locked it up once they got down there for the most part. And what was a 14-10 ball game last year. But is that kind of the thought? Is like, hey, you can't get frustrated at giving up some yards. It's going to happen. Just try to let them play between the 20s.
I think that's anytime you're playing a great team. You're not going to just completely shut them down. They're a very good football team, so they're going to get theirs at time. And we see it every week against ourselves defensively. We're playing our offense. They're going to move the ball some, and you just try to keep them out of the end zone. So they know that they know how to play those games, and we'll go play and see what we got.
And again, there's a lot of guys who played in this game last year for you. A lot of guys still that played in this game, 2 years ago when it was back up here, and that was a 45-42 or something like that kind of football game. It was a wild one. It seems like you guys have had some great ones. Who are you kind of excited to watch that may be getting some of their first action this season to kind of say, all right, you've shown you deserve to be out there. Now this is a big-time game. Who are some of the guys that you're kind of like, hey, this is their first time, like, big-time game, and they're getting their chance?
Yeah, I'm excited offensively to see what Bubba Frazier can do. I mean, he's explosive, and we need him to make big-time plays. Makai Williams in the secondary, and see what he's got, and he's a really athletic kid, can bring the thunder with it, and we need him to be able to do that. So excited to see these guys do it. Larson Little at linebacker, sophomore, works really hard and has had a good season up to this point. Let's see what he does in this huge moment.
I was just say you have a lot of guys that you had a lot of guys back, but a lot of guys who are getting those starter roles through 3 games. You feel like Makai Williams and Larson and some of those guys on defense who are stepping in. You say, I don't know, or now you're starting to feel a little more comfortable now that they've done it, play in, play out, 4 quarters, all the way through.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you start getting a little more confidence as you go there. I'm never really fully confident. I'm always, got concerns. Certainly when you're talking defensively and in the secondary, it's such a huge. If you make a mistake, everybody knows it. Type situation. So, but yeah, they're getting the plays in, and that's how you get the confidence, and that's how you get better.
Offensively, you guys have played pretty well. I mean, outside of even last week, you mentioned a couple of drops. If those get made, I think we look at it and say, well, your offense has still been humming right along. Offensively, how do you feel about your football team going up against a team defensively that is big and physical and fast and all the things I know you want to be at the same time? How do you feel about your offense attacking them?
Yeah, I feel good. Again, I think, like you said, we weren't necessarily clicking incredibly well last Friday. I think there was a lot of factors to that. I'm excited. I'm excited to see what Luke can do. He was frustrated last year. Now, what I kept telling him, we were playing in an absolute mud pit.
Yeah.
It rained so hard. Everything was soaking wet. So it was really hard for the quarterbacks last year. But, I'm excited for Luke to hopefully get a dry field and a fast field and see what we can do.
And, again, a chance for you to spread them out a little bit. They have always, as you said, kind of like offensively, look at them and say that's a Ware County team. Ware County defensively kind of always looks the same. Big, physical guys, a middle linebacker that's big and can run. They're going to be able to play man on the outside a lot of times with their cornerback. So is it just kind of feeling them out there? And your offense, how's practice been, I guess, say it that way, this week coming off of, you said, disappointing. You're going to be focused anyway, but have you sense of, hey, last week just wasn't a clean effort offensively for us?
Yeah, I think so. Definitely everybody's been really focused, and I think, again, we knew that game. We didn't dwell on it because, we did the things we needed to do. The focus has been really good this week in practice, and it has to be, and then it will have to be Friday night to win the game.
A little insight into how you coach your team a little bit. You've been in so many big games, but how do you prepare your team to say, don't make the game bigger than it is? It's obviously huge, but it is week 4.
Right.
How do you keep them, I guess, in the moment? Say, yes, it is a big game, but don't make the game bigger than the moment kind of thing. And I would imagine it seems easy because you guys have played so many big games. How do you kind of prepare your team like that to say, hey, look, yeah, this is the biggest game anywhere in the state of Georgia, but we can't play like it's all that right now. We just have to go out and play. How do you get them mentally prepared to do that?
I think they take cues from us. And if we get too uptight or too caught up in on winning this game, they will do the same. Well, we just want to go be great and win, and every game we have the opportunity to play. So as long as we are acting that way, which we are, and I mean we've been very uptight and pushing and knowing that it's a huge game Monday through Wednesday. Today practice will be a little bit lighter because we've installed everything. Everything's in there. We'll go out and do the run through things today, and they'll take that cue from us. Also
hard to believe this is your first home game.
I know. It seems like we've been been playing forever, and this is our first home game, so we're excited for that opportunity.
I would imagine the tailgating is going to be next level on Friday too.
I feel like it will be a next level tailgate, and it should be exciting. So, hey, even if you're not a football fan, come to the tailgate; you'll enjoy it.
Oh, 100%. BC wins the championship tailgating almost every year. I will say that for sure. But again, special teams has been so huge. I feel like Connor Ferguson continues to just impress and have an ability to kick the ball in the end zone. And tried a couple of long field goals with him, I believe, last week. And even the ones he's missed, he's had the leg. It's maybe just been a little bit off. And you come down, I think, last year, again, a mud pit, rain game, but I think he missed a couple of field goals in the slop by just a little bit. And how much could that be a factor coming into this one?
Yeah, it should be a huge factor. Connor did a really good job last week. I think he had missed the first 3 or 4 field goals of the year, but we were also trying from, I think it was 51, 49, which, again, as I've explained in high school, it's kind of like a punt because it goes into the end zone. It comes back to the 20, not to the spot. So we kind of consider it like a punt with an opportunity for points. Last week he was able to hit some, I think one was 37 and one was 34, nailed them. Had, I think, 6 touchbacks. So did a really good job for us there. Punting average over, I think it was 38 yards. So he could be a huge factor for us tomorrow night.
I was just saying that, and that's something we haven't seen you guys do a lot is punt the football. How's he handled doing both roles for you guys thus far? Because I think we talked preseason. You said, well, he's going to have to punt for us, and we'll see how he kind of adapts to that. It seems like the few times you've had to do it, he's done all right.
He's done really well, and we were going to let Luke punt. I really don't like that, having my quarterback back there. Connor said, hey, I'd like to give it a shot. Coach Pat Parker works with him, who punted at Georgia Southern and had a great career. And he's really listened and done well with it. So I'm excited for him to continue to work and what he can do. And we're going to need him to come out big tomorrow.
We'll talk a few minutes of football here with Danny Britt before we close it down here from Bowtie Barbecue. And I was taken aback. We talked earlier, hey, where BC, you guys have great talent, guys going on to play the next level, but it always kind of hits me on Saturdays when you sit around and watch high school or college football, and I'm like, that guy, that guy, that guy, and that guy. And it's like, I imagine you must just do that every Saturday and go, that guy's making plays. You got guys from Tulane to Minnesota. I mean, you got guys all over the place. It's hard to keep track of everybody that's getting playing time on Saturdays.
It is hard to keep track, and it can get kind of – I know this sounds crazy. It gets kind of frustrating for me because I want to keep up with all of them. I want to watch all of them, and I can't.
Right.
So I know Stephanie, sometimes I'll be like, hey, such and such just made a play. She's like, I know you've shown me 3 times. But yeah, I love keeping up with them. So proud of them. They're playing all over the country and having a lot of success. So that is very exciting to watch. Our coaches' text thread just blows up on Saturdays. Just, hey, they'll send a picture, a screenshot of, whoever making a play. And it's just really cool stuff.
I was going to say that you had a young man playing for Mercer. Who they were playing Auburn?
Yep,
or,
Alabama.
Yep. So they got to go and play in Bryant-Denny. I mean, you had Holden got in for a couple series there with Auburn last week, so you really got some guys that getting some playing time there on Saturday.
Yeah. I saw Luke Barlow was playing center for Mercer against Alabama. Holden got in. Gavin Stewart, saw him kicking. He tried the onside kick in the game there, and it wasn't successful, but it was a great kick. They should have had it. Guys just playing all over the place, and it's really exciting to watch. Travis Blackshear had a pick 6.
Yeah.
Another pick 6. He does that all the time for Furman. So just a lot of guys playing all over the place.
Are you again? It's got to make you excited to see guys get an opportunity to play at the next level. But when you see them go and have success, I know Travis has been one of those guys that went to Furman, has really been an excellent player. So much that he's led the league in interceptions and things. Like, he legitimately could get a great shot to play at the next level after college football.
Yeah, definitely. He'll have an opportunity there, and I think a number of these guys coming through now will have an opportunity. Jakeem Harris, feel very confident he's got an opportunity now. He just got injured again, and unfortunately, I think will probably be out for the year. So, but these guys, it's pretty awesome to know that they'll have those opportunities. But here's the other thing: they're going off to the next level. getting a free education, and it's pretty incredible just that. Then, the shot at the NFL is just an added bonus.
Absolutely. So, again, Saturdays, you'll see BC guys all over your TV if you happen to flip around and watch college football. But where you need to be is Memorial Stadium tomorrow night as BC takes on Ware County. Not a bigger game in the entire state going to be happening tomorrow night. And Coach Danny Britt and the boys will be looking to get win number 4 on the season, first home game of the year as well. So appreciate everybody for coming out here and joining Coach and I here on this Thursday. We'll be here next Thursday to recap the Ware County game and look ahead to next week's action as well right here at Bowtie Barbecue. Hope you'll come out and join us. Thanks for watching here with the Danny Britt Show.